Hello, welcome back. This is Miniature Mike. Today we're going to do another character comparison video. It's going to be a short one. We're going to do Padme Amidala. Now in the game there's only 3 of them. There's one from Clone Wars, Clone Strike, and then also finally from Champions of the Force. So character doesn't pop up too much in Star Wars miniatures, or don't see her used very often, save one character, but there's some fun options here. So let's jump right on into it. Just gotta say, if you hear a little buzz in the background, that's my 3D printer going. I checked it. It shouldn't be too annoying or irritating, but hopefully it's not. So first things first is the original Padme Amidala from the Clone Strike set. So she costs 15, and overall I think she's fair. She's not too bad. She's not great, but her stats are actually pretty crazy for what she costs. So she's got great HP. So 60 HP on someone who costs 15 is really, really high. That's a plus. The survivability isn't too bad. It's not bad. It is bad, but it's not the worst of the worst because those stats do kind of help out, even with how cheap she is. Her attack is pretty awesome at 9. 9 attack on a 15 is really, really high. So that's good. Then you can also pair that with max damage and special abilities, which she has double attack, does 10 damage. So it's kind of nice because she can attack twice, it's just 10 damage, but she has a really good chance of hitting twice because it's just higher attack at that level. So overall, like, that's pretty good stuff. Like, that really is very solid. Like, the stats are solid, having double attack, only costing 15 is not too bad. The synergy and the versatility, it's all just kind of fair, it's whatever, in my opinion. But the commander effect is tricky, so I think overall it's a poor commander effect. But if you think outside the box, and I don't have any examples right now, but I'm sure some of you do. If you think outside the box, you could probably give some interesting people bodyguard, and then those bodyguards could be used to help more important characters and more important pieces potentially. So you just have to think outside the box on, is there an opportunity to give someone bodyguard? Who would it be? How useful would that be? Would it be helpful? Yeah, you just kind of have to think about it that way. But it's not great. I think for Padme's, I just gave her a solid 3, really because the pros are she has great stats for the cost. Like, she has undeniably awesome stats for her cost, which is it's kind of on par for what you see in Clone Strike. A lot of Clone Strike characters do typically have really high stats, just not a whole lot of meat on the bone when it comes to abilities. And then later sets tend to have worse stats, but create lots and lots of abilities, lots of interesting combinations. So just keep that in mind. Not too bad, and there's a little modifications you could do to make her even better, which is nice too. Blue Milk is not very high on her. Blue Milk gives her a 5.98. Personally, I think that's actually a little bit too low. I think she's better than that, but not crazy. So her specialties, she's a bodyguard bestower, and then like I mentioned, you just have to be creative with how to use her bodyguard because she's cheap. She kind of has great stats for how cheap she is, and you could give an interesting character bodyguard. Just gotta figure it out. So next character after this one is Queen Amidala from Champions of the Force, and this is honestly like one of the goats in some ways of that set. Like, geez, like one of the really awesome old classic hit and run specialists. So she's a great character overall. Starting with her HP, she's got awesome HP with 70. That's really high, like really, really high for someone who's in that like kind of mid-teens cost. 70 cost is nuts, or range is great. She's got really good survivability across the board, better with ranged, not as good with melee, and a lot of that's supported by having mobile attack, and then just great stats overall. So keep that in mind. Her attack, again, really great, just like the last Padme that we just saw. Queen Amidala also has 9. That's really high, very good. Her maxed out damage, very solid as well. You do 10 damage, 9 attack, and then you have double as an option as well. So special abilities are really, really good because you have a few things going for you. You have double attack, which the last one had, but on top of that, so you basically have the stats of the last one, but you have 10 more HP, you have mobile and rapport, and you have an amazing commander effect. So it's just, unfortunately, you know, unless you want to do something really creative with that bodyguard commander effect, there's almost no reason to use Padme Amidala. It's Queen Amidala is the one you want to use. And so special abilities, like I said, you can do double attack or mobile, so it's kind of nice where it's either or. Of course, it's nice to have it be twin attack, but that didn't exist yet. But it is nice that you can use that hit and run stuff, Or if you want to do extra damage, great. Rapport is nice, so rapport for her as non-unique Republic followers cost 1 less. That's a lot of characters. That's clones, that's non-clones. Definitely none of the Jedi, obviously. So there's quite a few things you can do. That'd be kind of fun. I don't maybe mix her in with some Jedi and Tarian Rangers or something. Make them cheaper. I thought they already had. No, they have affinity, not rapport, and synergy. But there's just a lot of different things you could do that could be really, really good with that. It's not the craziest bonus, but it's nice. Definitely great abilities across the board, especially on someone so cheap. And then her ability synergy, it's fair. I don't think her powers necessarily synergize great with everything she does. It's fine, but she's more versatile. You know, she has the hit and run, the rapport, the commander effects. So that's good stuff. I'd say commander effect, though, is awesome. And that is non-unique Republic followers gain mobile attack. And I know it's a bummer, it's non-unique, but there's a lot of characters in the Republic that can gain some pretty sweet mobility, and you don't even need Masamada to extend the range in this case, which is really helpful. So definitely big plus there, in my opinion. Yeah, honestly, one of the early on, definitely one of the best commander effects, and it's still a commander effect that holds up really well in that team. So definitely keep that in mind. So commander effect, awesome. Padme score, I think this is the best Padme. I gave her a 4.5. Just so cheap and so useful, so helpful, can do some really nice hit and run stuff. Blue Milk agrees, not that costly on eBay right now. And so her pros, she has a great commander effect, great stats for a 16. You know, makes most Republic squads very mobile. And the cons, you know, not big of an offensive support. And rapport is great, but it's not like, it is good, but it's not incredibly great. But still, awesome character. So last we got, skipped it. Here we go. Padme Amidala, Senator from Clone Wars. This is another really interesting one. Very similar mold. So this one costs 23, so quite a bit more than the last one. Same stats as basically the rest of them. So the 70, 17, 9, and 10. But there's some things I do like that are going on here. So I'll start with the HP. That's the same as before. It's not as impressive anymore because she does cost, 7 or 8 more. But it's still nice. It's still very nice. The survivability is also nice too because you have mobility and solid stats and so forth, just like Queen Amidala. So the same thing there. The attack's the same. Again, not quite as extremely great because now you have a 9 attack on a 23 as opposed to 9 attack on someone, who's a lot cheaper than that. So either way, it's pretty solid. And then special abilities in this case are really good. It's mostly just mobile and twin. She doesn't do a lot of damage, but this is really nice. So as opposed to Queen Amidala or Padme, who is stuck with double attack or mobile attack, she can do both of them at the same time, and that's really, really good. So big thumbs up there. And that reflects in the ability synergy. Twin and mobile, they go together, just like peanut butter and jelly. Great to have those two working together, and good stats to back them up. And the versatility is solid too. Overall, it's nice to be able to move and shoot, good commander effect. But where this one really shines is the commander effect, really. And this is the one where you have to kind of think outside the box. So her commander effect is at the end of her turn. One unique follower, so unfortunately it's a follower, not an ally. One unique follower within 6 squares can make an immediate attack at a +4 attack bonus. So this is really great for a few reasons. Is if you mix this character with someone who's unique and a follower that has twin attack, it can be really powerful, really devastating. That person can go from having, maybe like the Kit Fisto or even Champion of Nelvon, but Kit Fisto, for example, who could do 4 attacks now can do 6 attacks potentially in one kind of go around. So that's really strong. I think the commander effect is one of those ones where you have to plan around it, you got to use it right, but when it works, it's very handy, very helpful, and it's fun because she can still shoot and stuff too, and then the commander effect goes into account too, so that's really good. And Padme score, I put her just a tick below the other one. I think this one's still great, but I think the other one's a little more valuable personally. This one costs a little bit more, of course, and her specialty is hero support. So the pros can be a really big support to uniques, especially ones with twin attack like I mentioned. And the cons, it's just fairly more expensive than the other ones. So the other Padmes, like I said, they cost 15, 16. That's really nice and cheap. This one's a little more, not much more, but just keep that in mind, something to consider. But it is a really fun commander effect, and I have posted some fun squads online that have this Padme Amidala mentioned. One fun combo, like I said, Champion and Nelvon, that can be really fun because that Anakin already has twin attack, already has Gemso style, does a lot of counter attacking. and then this one can just add that extra +4 attack, do an extra attack, and then twin makes it happen again. So really fun Padme. All right, lastly, this isn't too impressive. There's just 3. So a normal one is Padme Amidala, not too bad, 274. And then we have Padme Amidala Senator, really good score, 3.6. And then 3.95 on Queen Amidala, just really awesome piece. So then here is this. I'll minimize my screen so you can see all the scores. Across the board, really nice stats for the cost. All of them really do. That peters off a little bit with Padme Amidala Senator, but really fun stuff, really fun. They all have really interesting commander effects. I know the commander effect for the bodyguard isn't quite as sexy, but still can be kind of fun if you think outside the box. Anyways, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I'll just leave it here. Please like, subscribe, definitely comment down below on what you think about these different Padme Amidalas. What are your thoughts on these minis? And until next time, have a good one.